Warrior Showcase. I am Stephen Clark. I'm the principal at Woodside Middle School. This is my first year in this role, wrapping it up. And one thing that we really want to do is we want to just make things fresh. Okay. So again, I'm Stephen Clark, finishing up my first year as a principal. I am a Woodside graduate, if you can call it that. I'm a Homestead graduate. I grew up in Southwest Allen County Schools. I went here grades K through 12. Some of my classmates are actually now either here tonight or the parents of some of our students. I'm going to introduce Mr. Beaumont, our assistant principal. He's going to kind of go through his role here.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for coming out. We appreciate your time tonight and hope you're having a good time checking out all of the opportunities for your child next year. Again, my name is Tim Beaumont. I'm an assistant principal / athletic director here at Woodside. This is my 25th year in education, which I can't believe. I was a teacher within our district for 16 years, 13 years at the elementary level and 3 years at the middle school level here at Woodside. I was also an administrator within Fort Wayne Community Schools for a long time, and then Dr. Park Ginder called me up and asked me to interview here, and I couldn't wait to give that opportunity a chance. So here I am. Again, like I said, this is my second year. And I think so far our team has just merged into one, and we all have the same message to everybody. And you know, this is a family. This is a family atmosphere. You'll see it in the hallway. If you're ever here, you'll see everybody giving knuckles and high fives and things like that. So it's a great place to raise a child through 6th, 7th, and 8th grades.
Over their assistant principal, you would have met her or heard her or seen her in the gym. That's Mrs. Lockhart. Her responsibility is kids with last name L through Z. All of our responsibilities will be linked here. Now that's this year. Some things might be tweaked for next year, but you'll have an opportunity if you have questions. Do you know my kid has an IEP? Yes, we do. Okay, but if you have specific questions, that would be me. 504s, Mrs. Lockhart, athletics, Mr. Beaumont. All of those questions about who to contact will be located right there in that responsibilities chart. All right, every good lesson starts with some objectives. Some of them are kind of funny, but they're true. They're honest. Okay, so what do we want to accomplish tonight? Okay, we'll make a good first impression. Hopefully, you saw all the activities, all the things that your kid can get involved in. That's really important to us. All right, kids need to be involved. They need to have something that brings them to school every single day, something that they love. Okay, not that they don't love Mr. Wilson's 6th grade math class, but what do they love? Is it music? Is it running, as it was for me, or basketball? Okay, what are they into? We want to get kids reconnected with school. All right, a lot of information up here. You don't need to know all of it, but we are proud of it all. Right? 1976, the school has been around for a long time. The older building is located, it's now part of Homestead High School. This is the newest building in the district. I believe we have the nicest building in the district. Now obviously Homestead is wrapping up a big construction project. They'll have the newest building in the district, but for now, Woodside is. We're also the second largest school in the district with over 1,000 kids. Okay? We have over 100 staff members. I always tell parents, if they're concerned, there is a caring adult in this building 10 feet apart. Okay? There's always a caring adult present. We make sure there's supervision. We make sure they're out in the hallways because there are a lot of kids. And we're going to talk about how expectations change from the elementary school where one grade might have been the whole school. Okay? We're going to talk about that a little bit. But it is a large school, but we have lots of staff. Lots of opportunities. The whole point of the showcase is to show you what type of opportunities we have at Woodside. There are a lot of them, some of which are up on the screen. I'll let you read it or check this out. We have intervention courses for students who might need a little extra help, and then we have honors courses, 15 of them. All right? There are a lot of opportunities over at Homestead for your students to earn dual credit and to earn AP credits. Okay? We prepare those students who are headed in that direction here at Woodside starting in the 6th grade.
Communication. If your child is already here within our district at one of the elementary schools, communication is typically the same. So parents where obviously that's new for our school district this year. However, that has been a major platform for information and getting that information out to everyone that has a child within our district. Attendance number, Obviously, if there is something coming up, child's sick, we have our attendance line to call, office phone. I'm here late at night, typically with athletics, and if I'm in my office, I hear that phone ringing. If you need to leave a message that your child's not going to be there the next day, obviously our teachers go through, our secretaries go through the voicemails each morning to determine who's here, who's not. Warrior newsletter goes out every Friday. There's links involved there. They can send you to different places. Some are routine, some are weekly, because that's, you know, how we are here with a routine, but some might be different. Canvas messaging, that's a major platform for all of our elementary, middle, and high schools. And then teacher emails, PowerSchool, checking grades, and so on. I'm not going to give you any of that advice. I'm going to say it from Mr. Clark there.
So this isn't new unless you're new for the district, but we do use Canvas as our primary LMS or learning management system. We do not expect parents to be Canvas or PowerSchool experts, okay? Here's a pro tip for you, okay, right down there at the bottom. If you don't want to have another password to remember or get a bunch of alerts, set up a routine with your kid, because now they have 7 or 8 teachers for the first time. It's not just one person, okay? You can trust me, if you want to set the alerts, our teachers, they communicate a lot. They use Power Square, Parent Square. I do that all the time. Sorry, I mesh them together. Parent Square, all right, they use it. You can get communication to communication. But if you're like me, all right, kind of be able to separate that a little bit. You can set it for digest, right? You get those messages later. But set up that routine with your kid where, hey, we're going to sit down once a week, once a day, whatever, and pull it up. They have their device. They take it home. Pull it up. Let me see your Power School. All right, tell me about this grade. All right, what's going on here? I mean, ask those questions, okay? Start to ask and have those routines with your kid. All right, that's your proactive measure. Show me your Canvas. What did you guys do in this class? Okay, our teachers are phenomenal at having those things up. If your kid is absent, the goal, okay, it's not going to be the same experience as if they were sitting in our wonderful teacher's classroom, but they can continue their educational momentum. They can get a lot of those assignments done. Right, so when they come back, yes, they will have that day to make things up without penalty, but they could already have a clue what was going on. That's the point of Canvas, all right? That's the proactive point, okay? Power School, it's going to be a little more reactive. Those are going to be those grades, okay? A couple things that are really specific to Woodside that I expect our teachers to be doing. One, at minimum, 1 grade per week, okay? It's not a mind-blowing philosophy. My philosophy on grades is simple. Right? Your grade should represent how your kid is doing in that class on that day. Okay? How are they doing at that moment? What we don't want are surprises at the end of a quarter or surprises at the end of a semester. So I do ask the teachers that when a student misses something or doesn't turn something in, that they immediately put that 0 in. Okay? So that can cause a little bit of anxiety at first. Because yes, even if they're absent, and let's say they miss a quiz or test, they're going to see that grade go down, okay? Especially if it's early at the beginning of the semester. But I can guarantee you that they're going to get it done, they're going to get turned in, and if they get it done within that day, day for a day, they miss 2 days, they get 2 days to do it, all right? Once it goes back in, there'll be no penalty, and it'll go right back up, okay? But we want you to know, okay, all right, that means they missed this, those are the things you got to do when you get back. If you consider the opposite, all right, well, we didn't want to put it at 0 because, well, we just want to be nice. Okay, we just want to be nice. We don't want to put in a 0 for when they were absent. And then your student doesn't do it. They never come in. They don't take the initiative to come in and make that up or make up that project. Now we hit the last 2 weeks of the semester, or maybe last week, and they're like, oh yeah, you never did that. I'm going to put it in a 0. And that student's grade goes from an A to a C, and we only got a week left. Okay, that happened months ago. Okay, that's what we want to avoid. All right, so that's why that philosophy is in there. Please know that we are fair in our grading practices. Your students have the opportunity to make things up. We are very transparent on our grading practices. We have grading practices that are aligned or will be aligned in like courses, okay, so you can have a guaranteed curriculum and know how that they're going to be graded. We have the best of both worlds, okay? On Mondays, on a typical week, your kid is going to see every one of their teachers. Now, I know that to us, that looks very complicated. Trust me, your kids get it. Okay, we make sure we orient them, they understand, they know where they're going. We spend a lot of time working with our 6th graders, getting them to understand their schedule. But on a typical week, they're going to have every class on Monday. Okay, so, okay, yeah, they're going to see what they're doing that week. They understand what they need to prepare for. And then they are going to have those they're going to have those longer periods during the week. Now, that's a long time. Why such a long period? Well, things like band, art, science, and doing labs, we have the opportunity to go a lot deeper in our classes, do a lot of project-based learning, but also a lot of inquiry-based learning, if you're familiar with that. They can take their time and really go deeper and farther with the knowledge, okay? There's a lot of info that's going to be coming, okay? I'm not here to give that to you. Frankly, I don't have a lot of it for next year. Just know, be looking for that summer newsletter over the summer that'll have your red, white, and pink day calendar, so you know which days of the year are going to be that. Important dates calendar, something we're already working on. That back to school night will be very important. Opportunity to come and meet your kids' teachers before they ever step foot in their kids' classroom, or in their teacher's classroom.
At the secondary level, we refer to the handbook quite a bit. And we do cover certain areas. Obviously, attendance procedures, our expectations for attendance. I'll go over that here in a second. But student conduct, and then in addition to that would be school rules and consequences. We refer to the handbook. Bell schedules, including the delays, our PEP sessions, all those schedules that will all be in there as well. Expectations for remote and e-learning, since that is somewhat of a common practice now. That'll be in there as well. And then my department, athletic code of conduct, and our academic expectations for those will be in there.
It's definitely something that we can all agree on. Okay, as parents, teachers, we're aligned in this. We want our kids to be able to come to school or go to school, and we know that they're going to be safe, and we know that they're going to be in an environment where they have the opportunity to learn. Okay, so there are some things in terms of safety. They can have backpacks, they can have sling bags, they can have purses. But when they come into the building, they take them to their locker, and we will give them lots of practice with their locker. In fact, they're already working on it in their elementary schools. Or if they haven't yet, they're going to start before they leave there. They'll start working on their combos. All right, they put that stuff away. They put their bags away. Their cell phones, as soon as they come in the building, they can have them, okay? But they need to be off and in their locker so we're not distracted when we go to class. They may bring a water bottle to school. I ask that if you're going to get your kids Starbucks before school, that they come in, they finish it here in the cafeteria, so we can keep this beautiful building beautiful, okay? Believe it or not, 12-year-olds spill things. You might know that, okay? All right, snacks are at the discretion of the classroom teacher, but again, some of those things become a distraction. We have kids come in with big bags of chips, and now they want to be distracted over those. Other important stuff, staying in that same lane here about safety, the morning, okay? I think we have a very efficient drop-off, okay? We have a big school, so yes, if you're coming from the elementary, you can expect that wait time, if you're somebody who drops them off to school, to be a little bit longer. Okay, the kids move a little bit faster than they do in elementary school, all right? But it's a bigger school, second biggest school in the district, like we said. But again, it's not designed necessarily for parents' convenience, okay? It is convenient, but it's designed, number one, for safety. What I can guarantee is that your kid, when dropped off on the sidewalk, is going to come into 2 secure entrances, door 8 and door 14, where there are lots of adults with eyes on kids, okay? 6th graders, they'll come into the cafeteria, 7th graders hang out in the gym hallway, and our 8th graders get to kick it in the gym, all right? If you drop your kid across the street, in the parking lot, that means they're walking across traffic, okay? I understand, we're on a hurry, we want to rush. If you're going to be rushed, we recommend you have them take the bus. If you can't bus, we recommend they go a little earlier. Okay, but what we don't need are parents breaking the line, cutting other people off, putting other people's kids at risk. So please be responsible in the line. Okay? We advertise 1, we're prepared for 2. We can't keep you from coming out of the back. Okay? So it's prepared for that. But this is what the preferred line is. Please use the preferred line. Helps us get our buses in the bus lot quicker.
You get 10 parent excuses, 10. And then after that, you have to have a doctor's excuse or some sort of medical form, maybe a chronic illness form. However, after that 10, we're really watching what's going on. They get to 6 or 7 parent excuse, you're probably getting phone calls. There's an automated email that goes out as well for our attendants. But make sure at any time you're calling in to tell us why your child is not in school. That's a reminder. Some people forget, and then it becomes truant because we have no idea why your child wasn't at school that day. Once you get into after the 10, you get your 11th day out. That's a truancy without a doctor's excuse. Make sure your child's getting to school here on time. They get a 5-minute passing period, which we believe is enough time to get to class to and from. We really look, and this year we've really concentrated on the tardies, getting kids to class on time. 6th grade, the current 6th grade right now, we don't have much of a problem with. It's the 7th and 8th graders that we worry about because they think they know better than us. But the 6th grade, right now, current, no pressure, but they're pretty good.
You would have received this information, the immunizations. Please make sure you're taking care of this. I'm going to assume that everybody who's coming to this tonight, super responsible parents, right? But just know that in September, when it gets to that deadline, every year there are students that we have to send home, unfortunately, because they're not meeting our state-mandated immunizations. So, go ahead. All right, I'm sure you have lots of questions. Again, I previewed a lot of things that are going to come out over the summer and prepare you. The big emphasis tonight is hearing about what you can be involved in at Woodside. Getting you a little bit of information so you can start to be at ease, like, hey, my kid's going to do great here. He's going to find where he or she's going to fit in, okay? Our counselor's going to talk a little bit more about that. But I'm leaving you with a lot of empty stuff, okay? So if you have questions, please put that in the QR code. We'll respond to those. Make sure that we take your feedback as well. Again, really want to hear from parents who've been to this meeting and this thing in the past of how you feel it's went.
All right, good evening. My name is Lindsay Martinez. I'm one of the school counselors here at Woodside. We also have 2 other counselors, Morgan Baston and Janelle Zukowski, who's right behind me. Together, we host about 1,000 students every year, and we split them pretty evenly into thirds so that we can handle all of their academic meetings or concerns or scheduling. Morgan Baston, she has last names that start A through G. So if you have a last name that's A through G, your child will be in her caseload. I am in the middle of the alphabet, so I have the last names H through M. So if you have last names H through M, I will have your student, and then Janelle has students last name N through Z. So that's how we split them up. Now, what we tell all of our students, all of our teachers, and then all of you too as parents, we like to take the village approach with our students. We like to get to know all of our students regardless of their last name. So if you ever have any concerns, you need to call the building. You don't have to, oh gosh, who is my child's school counselor and how does the alphabet fall? Just tell the front office that you need to speak with a counselor and we will hopefully be able to help you and answer your questions. So we like to make sure that the students know that too. If they come down and they need to speak with us, we will speak with whoever, no matter what their last name is. So real quick before we continue, we have a short video that our students who are in our journalism class put together for a board presentation actually in December, but we love this video so much and we even showed it at our 5th grade talks to all the students during scheduling.
Hi, we are students representing Woodside. We are here to show you what Woodside means to us.
That's right. But Woodside is more than just a school. It's our home, and students here respect the school. And they are Woodside Strong. Just in case you were wondering what that stands for, S is for safe, T is for trustworthy, R is for responsible, O is for organized, N is for noble, and G is for genuine.
We have multiple examples of how our students and teachers are Woodside Strong. Like this, or this, and even this organized cabinet counts.
Since us warriors behave so well, we get electives. Our electives vary from art to an amazing music program to POB, which is a class where you can explore what you love to do. We even offer a course to take different languages. These extra classes mean so much to us because we can express ourselves and break up the day with fun classes.
That's right, Jasmine. We are so glad to have these classes here. Woodside also has 6-week rotations, including PE, art, home ec, skills, plus fun activities throughout the year, like activity night, the upcoming school dance, our first one, dance, sporting events, and more.
Woodside also offers multiple different clubs to participate in, such as Academic Bowl, Builders Club, Math Counts, Get Up and Move, Lego League, Baking Club, and Game Board Club.
And my personal favorite of all, sports. Woodside has tons of sports like football, basketball, volleyball, swimming, cross country, track, and my favorite, soccer. Sports are a big part of Woodside because students can participate in them and hang out with friends there as well.
As you can tell, Woodside is much more than just a school. It's a home, a family, and a place to meet and spend time with friends, and do the activities you love to do. We are so grateful to have such amazing teachers here and have such a great school. Thank you, everybody, for watching our video.
I'm going to talk about student involvement. We really wanted that video to be shown to all of you as parents and as students because we have a lot to offer here at Woodside. And one of our biggest goals for this class coming through is we want you all to be involved in something, every single one of you. And we're hopeful that we have something that will serve each one of your students very well. So here's a few pictures of some of the things that we have at Woodside, some of the student groups and athletics. Here is a running list of our co-curriculars, our athletics, and our clubs that we offer at Woodside. The co-curriculars, some of those are actually classes that you can take. Some of you who have been filling out your course selection sheets with your kids, I'm sure have seen band, choir, and orchestra, and maybe even have had a child in those classes come through Woodside, and maybe student council as well. We have athletics. Now, we always get a lot of sighs and bummers about can't do football in 6th grade and basketball in 6th grade. However, you can do them in 7th and 8th grade, so make sure that you try real hard and get ready for those 7th grade sports as well. And then our clubs. Our list of clubs have grown this year. We have a lot of new staff members who are really excited to provide some fresh and new clubs to our students to try to reach more of a cross-section of our kids. So as you can see, we have a nice club list. Not quite what Homestead has. They have like 47 clubs, which include Chicken Nugget Club. So if anyone is hoping to sponsor one of those at Woodside, we're all ears. All right, so one of the things that we have implemented this year at Woodside is being able to be more accessible to all of our students. I think by the end of November, we got to speak with 50% of our student body, which is incredible, something that we have not done before. And remember, we have about 1,025 students right now at Woodside. So we have been able to speak with a great number of them, and we owe a lot of that to this Scan Me form. This form is located all around the building. It's in every single one of our classrooms. The students can take their iPads, scan this QR code, and it will bring up a Google form. On the form, they list their first and last name, what grade they're in, what class they're in right now, and they actually rank kind of where they are emotionally. If this is not a very big deal thing, maybe a scheduling question, they can put a 1 or a 2, or if they are in danger of something, maybe having some harmful thoughts, or someone that they know is, they're having an emergency, they can put it as a 4 or 5. So we know when we get an alert, when they fill out one of these forms, how urgent is it that we talk to those students. The school counselors, all 3 of us, we are the ones that get those alerts. No one else, no administrators, no teachers, no one else. So we like to keep that confidentiality right in the school counselor's office. And again, when I told you before, we like to take the village approach. This also helps the 3 of us get to know a greater cross-section of our kids and their needs. We also do a lot of group counseling. In the first semester, we ran some group counseling sessions, And we also go into the classrooms to give lessons, and right now our big one is scheduling for next year. Students for a variety of things: stress, sadness, maybe some family struggles. So many of you are not from Fort Wayne. Maybe you've moved from outside of Fort Wayne, so sometimes there's a little bit of stress about moving, maybe some separation. Academic struggles, we get this a lot, obviously. We are in a school, we're school counselors, so we talk a lot about academics, helping your students become more organized, helping them get grades up, maybe helping turn in some missing work. And then, like I said before, we have some group options, typically during the first semester of the school year. Our 6th grade courses, we have required academic courses, which is a bummer for some because they really don't want to take math, or they really don't want to do reading class. However, we get those scheduled in automatically. They don't get a choice. We also have some other required courses. Our students take a team and tech class. There are also 6-week rotation classes: art, home ec. So yes, your students will learn how to sew. If they don't know already, they learn how to cook. They take a babysitter course in 6th grade. They also are in PE, and we have skills for adolescents, which is kind of a combination class. There's a little bit of drug prevention, a little bit of health. There's kind of a mashup of a lot of standards are taught in that class. And then the elective courses, which those of you who saw your yellow sheet come through, those are the classes that the students get to choose to take. So we have band, choir, orchestra, creative writing, introduction to speech and drama, and study hall for our 6th graders. This is what our course selection sheet looks like. I'm really hoping that you all saw this. If you have not, we have some extras. We ask that the students turn them in to their 5th grade teacher, and then the elementaries send them over starting tomorrow. So if you have any questions about your child's schedule in the next several months, reach out to us. We are more than happy to talk you through any of your kids' options. If they feel like they need to make changes, we'll make sure that we talk those through with all of you.
You know, if you have a middle schooler right now, or if you maybe have a high schooler or had another student already go through middle school, it is a time for a lot of changes that happen. So I just kind of wanted to, or we wanted to kind of go through some of these things with you. Some of the things that we see a lot during this time when they're transitioning to 6th grade is an increased focus on self and their relationship to the world around them. So we see that kind of go to me center, and they start really developing a lot of that sense of independence, the desire to challenge the rules sometimes and push your boundaries a little bit more and maybe be a little more vocal about that. And we're picking on Mr. Wilson, but he knows a lot of those things are happening. So we see that increased sense of focus on importance of peers and less affection towards parents. So this is often a lot harder for parents to deal with because we want them to stay close to us and tell them how that transition is going. And typically they're pushing you away, which is the exact opposite of where we want to be, right? And so we see that kind of those big changes, the realization that parents aren't perfect. You know, it's a shocker. And then they also gain the ability to find those imperfections and seeing what it is that's wrong with the way that we do things sometimes. So, and then I think the last one on here is the biggest one that we think of. There's a lot of different body changes that are happening and different hormone levels that are changing and that are causing a lot of those differences to occur. So we just wanted to remind you all, be patient with these changes as they go. It's really important to start teaching those resiliency and teaching the accountability, really going through that power school every night, not every night, but as often as you can with them, and walking through, taking their classes and making sure that you're going through some of that, because this is the first time they've had 8 classes before. They're going from 1 teacher to 8, and there's a lot of responsibility that's going to change there. So making sure you're communicating with them frequently about those school-related activities. Number 3 on there, getting to know your child's friends and their families. It's so important to know who your child's hanging out with and getting to know them and their interests. Monitoring their cell phone and internet use. This is a big one. A lot of them are getting phones and technology for the first time, and they don't quite grasp a lot of the dangers that are associated with that. So making sure that you take the time to really go through that. I'm happy to talk to anybody that needs to, maybe if you're interested in finding out certain apps that you can download to recognize those things more. I'm happy to share some of my ideas. And then just reminding you that your student's going to grow more during middle school than they ever have before. They're so much more independent, there's so much potential, and I think that's part of why me and Mrs. Martinez just love middle school, because they're just at the peak of a lot of that, and we get to see that growth and development go so quickly. Some of our frequently asked questions, the things that we get asked the most about, we really, really strongly encourage all of you to get your student a planner. It's so important that they keep track of all of those things that are happening every night, making sure that they're keeping up on things, having a homework folder, things like that to stay organized. A lot of our students get tracker keepers or a binder to keep track of each of their classes and their notes for those classes, and that can be very helpful since they can't take their book bag around with them. We also have just making sure that you're practicing their locker with them. They do this in the elementary schools, but even if you can get a lock at home, sometimes that helps ease a little bit of that stress and anxiety that they have coming in. Another question we get a lot is lunch. They do all eat lunch together, so all of our 6th graders will get to eat together, so that's combining all of our elementary schools. They're all going to be here eating one lunch, and they don't have assigned seats for that. The kids always get really excited about that piece. Our last questions, what we get a lot, are to do with honors placement. You'll be getting a lot more information about this soon if you haven't already, but the math honors placement is slightly different than our others. In math, they get based off of their NWEA scores in their iLearn data, and so you'll receive a letter if your student qualifies for a different math. And then for the science, English language arts, and social studies, one of us counselors will be visiting each of the elementary schools in our district on a designated day. And all of those students that choose to apply for that program, there'll be a permission slip form that goes home that you'll have to sign on, and then they'll be able to be removed from class to take the essay portion for whichever classes they choose to apply for. And then we always get asked, when are schedules available? When can I see my classes? How do I know what electives that I got? Those will be available on registration day, so you'll have to wait most of the summer in order to get that. And then changes can be made in their schedule up until that first day of school. And then really after that, we try to limit any schedule changes that are happening, and more so on a case-by-case basis in those situations.
But again, if you walk away with one thing tonight, is that there are a ton of opportunities for your children here, and for you as the kids coming into Woodside to get involved in what you're passionate about, and that is really something that I am personally passionate about, is that you guys find what you love. One more time, we're going to hear from our band. They're going to play us off with our school fight song.